you brought up the media early, Eddie, early into this. I was going to talk about it later. And I'll be honest, I'm not just saying that because we're here. You could go back through the archives. I've said it, I've enjoyed as where I stand and the entertainment side of things of your stuff in the media. Yeah. Some other people will say it's been difficult. Like I've read stuff where you said it's actually been difficult for you at times, but you've seen the need to grow the game. You look at other sports and the media plays a central part to that. You said just then about like the Western world. Like how is your relationship with that now internally when you think sports, entertainment, media?
Yeah, well I think the easiest thing in the media is to say nothing, and that takes a certain sort of discipline, but we need to keep the game growing, and I think sometimes you've got a responsibility to engage the media, and you know, to engage the media sometimes you have to be confrontational, and that creates headlines, and it also creates news for rugby. I would have preferred to have a quieter way of doing it, but that's not how it turned out. So be it, mate.
Yeah. Be honest. Like, did it affect you, that kind of stuff? Because I know you said it didn't, and I've maybe read a couple of things or small anecdotes where you referenced that it might have. Like, was there a part of you were like, oh shit, maybe a bit too much, or you wish that you didn't? Because that would affect anyone.
At times, yes, but it's been temporary, mate. Coming out of Australia, I felt a bit deflated about the whole thing, and obviously the relationship with the media didn't help that. And in retrospect, I probably would have done it a different way. But then I look at England. I don't really have any regrets. 7 years coaching England, and the end comes to it very rarely ends well, and it was always going to end in some way. And it portrayed as though I had a bad relationship with the media, but I don't think I really did. The end bits are always quite sour. How many players get to finish their career, in a fairy tale spot? Not many, and it's the same coaching wise. So, the longer you stay at a place, the more chances it's got of being quite a difficult ending, and that was always going to be the case in England. But I felt like, my relationship with the English press was pretty reasonable. At times it was a bit to and from, but that's all right. There's nothing wrong with that.
I think with the media, one thing I found quite interesting and quite endearing as well is your interaction with some of the players. So a lot of them, and again, this is something you talk about, if you drop them, they're not happy. If you keep them in, they're happy. Like Hask is a perfect example, your relationship with him. Yeah. But the way that you shielded like the team away from the media and the criticism, especially in England, was obviously intentional, right? You made the press conferences about yourself and gave great anecdotes that they could work with to take the pressure off. Was that intentional?
Oh, definitely. I think, if I think about England, I feel the players there, the media there is the most intense in the world. It's you're either the next best thing. If you look at the example of Marcus Smith, he was going to be the next best thing, and then as soon as he doesn't do well, there's another next best thing coming, and he becomes yesterday's hero. And that for young guys, that's a lot of pressure. That is a lot of pressure. So as a coach, you don't want to add to that pressure. You want to take away from that pressure. And certainly in England, I thought that was really important.
The stuff around Owen Farrell then, thickest of skin, captain, media and social media. What was your view on that? Were you surprised to see how it ended for Faz?
Well, that shows you how tough it is, mate. And as you know, you played with him. And, I was lucky enough to coach him, and there was never a more tougher, motivated, single-minded player. And obviously, and then, I didn't follow it, to be honest. I've only heard bits and pieces, and so I'm putting some stuff together, but I'm presuming that at some stage the social media really got into Owen's skin and affected him. And you can see how difficult that is when you consider the strength of his character and the strength of his love of rugby, that he had to basically say enough's enough, I need a break and go and play somewhere else.
Did you speak to Faz?
Yeah, we were keen to get him over here, mate.
Okay.
But he ended up going to racing, and I can understand why. But yeah, when you're a good player like him, you got options. And I'm glad to see that he's made a decision, a good decision for his family, and I'm sure he's going to enjoy his rugby at Racing.
Yeah.